जय हिंद दोस्तों, मैं हूं मेजर मोहम्मद अली शाह। मुझे बड़ी खुशी हो रही है कि अभी मैं एक ऐसे इलस्ट्रियस पर्सनालिटी के साथ बैठा हूं, उनके साथ गुफ्तगू में होऊंगा, जो तारुफ की कोई मोहताज नहीं है। ये एक एक्टिव मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर है। ये फौज में जनरल साहब रह चुके हैं, मेजर जनरल रह चुके हैं फ्रॉम द कोर ऑफ एएमसी आर्मी मेडिकल कोर। ही वाज विद द डीआरडीओ। he is a विशिष्ट सेवा मेडल, he's got a चिकित्सा रत्न. And if I have to, there's a lot about General Saab, in fact. You see him every day on national media channels talking on global affairs. But if I have to just speak a few lines, I would say that Major General Dr. J.K. Bansal Vishish Seva Medal Chikitsa Ratan is a former member of the National Disaster Management Authority, NDMA, which is got the status of the Union Minister of State of India. Earlier, he served in the Army Medical Corps and the Defense Research Development Organization. He's a medical doctor with specialization in thyroid diseases. He has 35 years of experience for prevention, mitigation, preparedness, and response to chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear scenarios. CBRN, उसको अगर short में बोलेंगे तो. He established chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, CBRN, mitigation division, and CBRN training center at Defense Research Development Establishment in Gwalior. He is the pioneer of the Radiation Disaster Medical Management Center, Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences in Delhi. He was invited to deliver many lectures and demonstrations during various CBRN training courses. Also conducted many mock drills on CBRN. He published large number of papers on CBRN. He underwent extensive professional training in CBRN, mitigation, and environmental health in Australia, Canada, Japan, and Sweden. He participated in task force meeting of OPCW Holland of treatment of chemical injuries in 1995. He attended international basic course on chemical weapon substance and protection at Rescue Service College, Sweden in 2002, and at NBC Training Center, Serbia in 2009. He visited Joint Institute for Nuclear Research, Moscow, where he gained medical experience and got himself acquainted and updated about nuclear disaster management. He has got wide experience for CBRN protection, detection, decontamination, and medical management. He visited many countries like USA, Japan, Australia to share experience in the field of CBRN, occupational health, and thyroid. He presented Indian perspective on bioterrorism preventive and response during Interpol workshop at bioterrorism prevention in 2007. He delivered keynote addresses at inaugural sessions of OPCW conferences on international cooperation and chemical safety and security held at The Hague, Netherlands in 2011. He made very significant contribution in a high-level roundtable meeting of international experts at enhancing global health security held on 11th June 2013 at Chatham House, London. He delivered a keynote address on the need for CBRN response preparedness in Asia at Non-Conventional Threats NCT CBRN Asia 2013 in September 2013 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He delivered keynote address in a workshop on response on chemical disaster in Asian countries held in Indonesia on 8th April 2014. On Innovation and Center for Diseases Control and Prevention, CDC, in May 2014. He visited various centers and facilities on CBRN disaster management of United States of America, like Emergency Original Center, Atlanta, National Security Administration, Nevada, Federal Radiological Monitoring Assessment Center in Las Vegas, Environmental Protection Agency, Nevada, Holland, TEDx Regional Biocontamination Laboratory, Chicago. He has given presentations on Indian preparedness to handle CBRN scenario. He had meaningful interaction with the experts working on CBRN preparedness program and shared his experiences and prevention, technology, and mitigation of CBRN, including protection of diseases, antibiotics, and methodology for detection of novel biological agents like to be used in bioterrorism. He made major contribution in prevention and management of swine flu pandemic in 2009. If you all remember, this was a big scare in 2009, and that's the time General Bansal, in fact, he was very, very instrumental in giving us all relief. He was deeply involved in the management of chlorine gas leak at Mumbai port during 2010. He successfully managed radiation emergency, including medical treatment during Mayapuri radiation incidents of 2010. He carried out radiation monitoring at airport of passengers coming from Japan during Fukushima nuclear accident in March 2011. He contributed significantly during natural disaster like tsunami, Gujarat earthquake, the Orissa super cyclone. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for his outstanding contribution and distinguished services, His Excellency, the President of India, decorated him with a Vishesh Seva Medal. He was awarded the Chikitsa Ratna by Delhi Medical Association for his outstanding in contribution in medical in training the doctors on CBRN mainly and many other fields, disaster casualty management. Let's welcome Dr. Major General Dr. Bansal, who needs no introduction at all, but I'm very happy to have him, sir. Jai Hind, and it's an honor to have you on the show, sir.
Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Saha, for your kind words. At the outset, I would like to congratulate you. Today, you got DG Assam Rifle Commendation. Is a great honor, and my heartiest congratulations to you. As a matter of fact, at the outset, I would like to place on record my appreciation for your contribution in the various field, and I really appreciate your knowledge in the field of defense-related matter and international strategy. We came across rather during a television channel, and the first time itself, I was impressed by your knowledge, your analysis, and your clear comments, very crisp comments. And I remember for this Gaza war, you condemned his attack on the Palestinians, where the 39,000 has been killed so far. At the same time, you condemned and you appealed to Hamas that yes, they should immediately release hostage without any condition. So I respect you that you are concerned for the humanity and you make appropriate comments so that it could be useful and it is not just for the sake of discussion. So thank you very much. I'm really feeling honored being with you today. And as I learned that you are a motivation speech, etc., whatever, your so many activities, so much of busy schedule. Since today, since morning, you are busy and you spare time to talk. So I'm very happy with that.
So very good. So let's talk about your journey.
Yes.
Your journey and
yes.
Always wanted to become a doctor when you were a child. And also, did you always wanted to join the army? How did it happen, sir? वो story क्या थी? कि आप फौज में भी गए, आप डॉक्टर भी बने?
I'm actually very fortunate, and I have got the opportunity to serve in the army as a medical doctor, and I have got the opportunity to serve in DRDO Defense Research and Development Organization and NDMA. So very rarely such kind of combination one get. But I got the opportunity where I had a very wide experience, national and international exposure. As far as my journey is concerned, I was born in a village of Meerut, a remote village, and at the age of 9 years, I lost my father, my elder brother, who is 11 years elder to me, and my mother. They brought me up. So in 1961, my brother joined army as a paramedical staff as other ranks, and he was involved for the patient care during 1962 wars. That motivated me and inspired me to join army. And my brother's dream was there that I become a medical officer in army because he was working in a hospital and he has seen medical officers. So he inspired me, and after my schooling, I did my schooling from the village. I used to travel by cycle about 10 kilometers, and till 12th standard, I was in nearby village only where I was studying. Then I went to Meerut Medical College. During that time, I was selected for MBBS in Agra Medical College. I completed my MBBS in 1975. Immediately after completing MBBS, I joined Army. After the initial military training in Lucknow, I was posted to MH Meerut. So my experience as a patient treatment as well as the military duty started from there because I had a conduction duty to mobilize one engineer regiment, 62 engineer regiment to Sikkim from Meerut. So that was an experience in itself because it take about 8-10 days in the train. You're treating cases. Some of the patients or Jawan, they were just playing and all. They got injured. I treated them. I put a stitch also, and then I went to Sikkim. There I had the different experience. This was the first time I went to a field unit. And after that, I was posted from Meerut. I was posted to 5D, Panga Valley, 47 Medical Battalion, where there was again exposure to different unit, 27 Madras, 11 Brigade, 4 Grenadier, 8 Jart. So I'm an engineer regiment. And from the Tangad to Tawang and Bumla, Noora Nang, Saila, Tungri, I served in all these areas and had a great experience over there and how to handle high altitude casualties, how to do the acclimatization. So there was a great exposure. I had added something over there in the sense for the purification of water. There's a spring water which is coming from a unknown source. So I used to do this purification and so that it is safe. From there, I was posted to Firozpur. The Firozpur, uh, I was there in 28 RT Brigade. So I had exposure to so many RT units over there. At that time, I got married. And from there itself, I was selected for my post graduation and went to Pune, FMC Pune, Armed Forces Medical Police College, Pune.
So, which year were you there in Firozpur, sir?
Firozpur, I was there in 78 to 70 to 80. 78 to 80, I was there in Firozpur.
सर यू
And
नो
from there,
क्या महज इत्तेफाक है पहली बात तो आप मेरठ से बिलोंग करते हैं और आपकी पहली पोस्टिंग भी मेरठ में ही हुई मेरठ मिलिट्री हॉस्पिटल में हुई हम भी मेरठ के हैं सर
oh, very nice,
हैं
very nice. This I am very happy to know. So you are from proper Meerut or any? Because you are from proper Meerut. That's good.
वो मेरठ जी सर
So,
एंड
हाँ,
एंड
yeah.
एंड सर एक और बात आपको खुशी होगी कि मैंने अपनी नर्सरी स्कूलिंग टांगा वैली से शुरू करी
What
जब
a
मेरे फादर भी
great,
आर्मी
what a coincidence. This is
उनकी
something
उनकी
really
पोस्टिंग उनकी पोस्टिंग खिरमू में थी गन एरिया उनका
great.
खिरमू में था वो तो
Yes,
बैटरी
correct.
कमांडर थे
Yeah, yeah.
एंड तवांग में उनका बेस था और टांगा वैली में हमारा स्कूल था हमारी फैमिली वहां पे रहती थी और
So,
पुणे से जब आप गए एफएम जब पुणे गए पुणे से मैंने अपनी ग्रेजुएशन करी आई वाज इन
oh,
फर्ग्यूसन कॉलेज पुणे सो इतने सारे महज इत्तेफाक है प्लीज प्लीज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग
I'm
टू
very
हियर
happy. And Kherambu and the Tungri, I think, in the same track, same route. So there was, I remember one of the engineer officers was with me, and he was saying that I'm Maharaja Kherambu. He used to say, that's how I remember Kherambu. And there was a lot of leeches over there. The leeches were there.
यस
So after my post graduation, I was posted to base hospital, Delhi. So I had experience of treating all kind of emergency and all after doing my medicine. Then I had interest in research. So there was vacancy in INMAS, Institute of Nuclear Medicine and Allied Sciences. This is a unit of Defense Research and Development Organization. So then I was posted to in Mars in 1983, and there I was given the responsibility of thyroid as well as the healthcare of DRDO workers. So I did occupational health care of DRDO, did a study because some of the DRDO lab they were working with arsenic and bismuth. There was a sound noise, etc. What are the effect I carried out? So Dr. Kalam is also from DRDO, was from DRDO, and he visited in Mars. Then he had given a very challenging task to me to establish CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear facilities in DRDO, and he sent me to different part of the world for training. As you enumerated, I had gone to Sweden for about 12 weeks training where I was actively involved. I made myself absolutely fit before going for that training. And after doing swimming, etc., it was a great exposure. Serbia also, this kind of training was there. Then, of course, because the Russia is very advanced in nuclear facilities, so I went to for the nuclear facility. There's a place known as Dubna, which is about 200 kilometers uh, from Moscow. So I did my exposure and what are the latest equipment, best practices, what are being done in the world. I was exposed to that, and then I established a radiation and chemical and biological treatment center because these facilities are not available. I will tell you one incident, and this knowledge was very handy. It was very beneficial to the country in the sense in the Mayapur incident, there was 8 cases were exposed, and we could treat. We lost one patient, but we could save 7. Otherwise, it's very difficult when those cases were admitted to All India Institute of Nuclear Science, and they did not know that how to handle. The head of the department, he was very shaky and he was not going near patient that yes, they are contaminated. And I went with all the precautions because that that there could be radiation. If somebody has inhaled radiation, then he is emitting radiation and he will be exposing other also. So my facilities came handy at the time to treat those cases. And as I told that for the swine flu also we did that. Now, one thing very, very important, which I will tell you that this was when I was in Mass only. Then once NDMA was established in 2005, they learned about my training and experience in CBRN, and I was posted to NDMA on deputation. And I was working on General Viz was our vice chairman, and General Bhardwaj, our DGFMS, was member at that time. So uh, this knowledge of mine came very handy for treating all these cases. Then there was a Commonwealth game in 2010, and a condition of Commonwealth game was that there should not be any terrorist attack on any of the venue. And terrorist attack means the chemical or biological attack, biological radiation could not be just going after inside the stadium, but it can be from outside. A nuclear medicine or a nuclear material like cesium 137 or cobalt 60 can be released just outside the stadium, and then by the plume or air direction, it will go inside the stadium and will cause the problem. Similarly, any chemicals, any nerve gas, or any mustard gas can be released outside. So this was a Herculean task, and it was the international requirement that yes, these facilities. So this task was given to me. I worked day and night. We put detectors in all venues so that they can detect. I first I procured. A committee was made. Experts were there, and we shortlisted what are the equipment has to be bought. We bought those equipments, and they were having a range about 5 kilometer radius. If there is anything outside, it can detect. So we put detectors at the entry also. The chemical, biological detectors were there, and then we have created facilities for decontamination and treatment for any kind of such eventualities. So we carried out it very successfully, and this UK was holding the Commonwealth game next year in 2011. They were so impressed. Then they came to NDMA to get some tips that how can they do it. So it was a great honor, and there were so much impressed by this work, this NDMA, that I was just a coordinator or just as a an NDMA, and then as a consultant, they appointed me as member NDMA. So while I was member NDMA, I did a lot of work. I taught the medical preparedness, what should be the guidelines, what is the role and importance of first golden hour the medical aid should reach for the whether it's cyclone, whether it is earthquake, it is flood, it is fire, accident, any kind of disaster, the medical aid must reach. And we made guideline and what should be the minimum standard of food, water, hygiene, sanitation, accommodation, everything was planned, which we did. And got trained all the NDRF for the CBRN, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear. We had a team from DRD Gwalior and in Mass. I mobilized that and I headed that team. And this team of NDRF, it went to Fukushima for the rescue work. They were so expert. And at that time, Shinzo Abe, who was the prime minister, he praised our team. And when he came to India, he honored those people who went over there. And because in the when the Chernobyl disaster was there, at that time I was in Inmas, and from Chernobyl, the Indian embassy people they came to Inmas for the any detection of contamination. After even a month, the one gentleman who was a sick gentleman, his puggery, there was the particles of radiation, and this radiation is very harmful. So what I planned that whosoever passengers coming from Fukushima or from Tokyo, whether they are contaminated or not, we did a detection and survey for that. So that work was done. And then at that time, there was a lot of bioterrorism activity going on. After the 9/11, the, the US, after this spore, the, the spore of the tetanus, the anthrax spore. You would have heard that anthrax spore was delivered through envelope, etc. The bioterrorism
Courier में
was
भी
a
आ रहा था, courier में आ रहा था anthrax violence virus.
yes.
ऐसा
So
ऐसा ऐसा.
this US at that time was very intensive work was going on bioterrorism, and on this bioterrorism they had a conference in Oman. This Interpol, I given a lecture in that. So they were looking for an international conference in India. They could not find, they tried everywhere in medical places and other, I remember NDMA, but they ultimately came to me. And I organized the conference. This conference was in a big auditorium, and where the health minister, the director general of health services, director general of this ICMR, the Indian Council of Medical Research, and experts from all over, including ambassador of US, was in this conference. And CDC, Center for Disease Control, they are handling this bioterrorism. They have got a department branch in national this in India also, the National Center for the Disease Control we have got in Sambhunath Marg. So they were so happy and impressed that they sponsored all my trips to Chatham House to participate in roundtable conference over there, how to handle biological bioterrorism, and whatever I suggested and whatever guideline we made, they included in their paper, which was circulated. And then subsequently there was a conference in Finland, and then they um, sent me invitation from other part of the world, like this Kuala Lumpur, and they then organized a trip of mine to US, which is very, you'll be surprised. They sent an officer with me from here, and this trip was for 2 weeks. It was completely sponsored, funded by US for my travel, my lodging, boarding, and traveling over there. So I went to CDC, Center for Disease Control, where we had exposure, interaction, given a lecture. From there, I went to Washington. In the Washington, they have got DTRA, Defense Threat Reduction Agency. This is a big agency, a very secret place, and basically they work on all three weapons of mass destruction, but their focus at that time was on bioterrorism. From there, because there is the then I went to I said this USAID also, the United States Agency for International Aid, International Development. They have got a They give very the grants. There are about $60 billion budget is there. So I visited that also, and from there I went to Nevada. To Nevada, they have the NNSA, National Nuclear Safety Agency, how they are doing that, and then they explained to me that how they detected in Fukushima. Also, I had exposure, I had interaction with them. The Environmental Protection Agency also there, Las Vegas. From Nevada, from there, I went to they went to bioterrorism center, Chicago. How they handles at that time, all these things are there, and I came. And then there was a kind of collaborative work we started with US because we have got so much new material here, the clinical material, which is lacking in US, and they were very keen. So after coming from there, we started in NDMA. This was a great exposure, and uh, you know this exposure of mine was very useful for handling any kind of then depend based on that. Even then, in 2014, I relinquished my office from NDMA, and then after that, I joined as a medical practitioner for thyroid and diabetes in Rockland Hospital, and I was doing practice at my home, and I was participating in various debates. But because of my experience, the RUSI, there's the Royal United Service Institute, as we have got the USI here, they have got the RUSI over there in USA. So they invited me for the radiation program, and I given lecture over there. And then we did a workshop in India also. They came here, and there was interaction going on. So these agencies, various other agencies I was involved. Even this is the ORF, Observer Research Foundation. Whenever they conduct any CBRN conferences or radiation, which is a very hot topic, so I'm being invited, participated, giving a lecture. So that is was the activities going on. So this has been in short nutshell my journey. And but I will tell you one thing very important that I had association with Dr. Kalam for 25 years, which shaped my career. He motivated me. He is a person who can take best out of you with love and affection. You are ready to work 15, 18 hours, which we did, and that's how I got this experience and exposure, could establish some facilities in India. So he's a wonderful person, a very kind human being. He was known as a missile man, but he was much concerned for the medical aid also. He developed Kalam Raju stent. By that, it could reach to the poor people. He developed artificial limb for um, poor people, and he made this SBMT, Society for Biomedical Technology. I was involved in that also. So I would like to, of course, in his association, so many things I learned, and had been, I, I saw him from a very close distance. And some of there were a lot many incidents, but few incidents I would like to mention here. When he became president, I had the honor to be his personal physician. So he was invited by Dr. Tarhan. At that time, there was a robotic surgery for heart
The
patients.
cardiologist, the famous cardiologist, sir.
Pardon, cardiologist. So
Yes, sir.
Dr. Kalam asked me whether could you just tell Tarhan that I will come for the inauguration if he does surgery for poor people who cannot afford at least 5 patients. So I conveyed to Dr. Tarhan, he agreed to it, and then we went over there, and it was a nice experience to get to be with him, and we did that. Then there was one hospital, Dharamsila Hospital. He got an invitation for the
For cancer
at
in Noida.
heart cancer hospital to inaugurate a very latest equipment. He called me, he asked me. He did not know because it was not very popular hospital at that time. He asked me that how is it because he used to go only to the place which has the credibility, not to all the places. I said, sir, this is a good place. I know about him. One of my relative was also got treated. This Dr. Kamla was there. She was the director, and she was dedicated because her mother had the cancer, and she completely dedicated herself to that. So he visited, inaugurated, and then he visited ICU, was one of the ward, and he met all the patients. But one of the patient was left. So his relative came to me, his son came to me rather, when we were going back, and Dr. Kalam was already inside the vehicle. Then my father, he did not meet him, so he's feeling that he should meet. So I told Dr. Kalam, and he listened to it, and he went back and he met that person.
Wow,
So
wow.
he went as a president. He went and met. He came to the marriage of my son, and everybody, this nobody was bothered for the bride and bridegroom. Everybody was surrounding him, and what he did, that there was Sanai Vadak in the corner. He went and met them. Means he used to look for the people who are really people who need, who are the downtrodden. So very caring type of person, very informal and very down to earth. Once he called me that, Bansal, I'm not well. You please come and see me. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening, and we had to, my two children, my son, my daughter, my wife, we had to move to one of the place and for the marriage. So I talked to him. I said, sir, my we have to go for a marriage. If you can come later on, because you sleep late as such in the night, about 12 or 1, so we come. So he agreed to that, and he agreed to that, and I went for a marriage, and then I came. My children and my wife was in the car. I went and saw him, and then he said, "Where are they?" And I said, "They're in the car only." He came down to meet them. He was staying in the Asiad village at that time. Um, Before becoming president, he used to stay in the Asiad village. So, but he was such a nice person. Some of the people take advantage of his niceness, in the sense when he was given a special protection, and the special protection people was used to be outside. So he said that you can be in the shade. And what they did, they occupied one of the room. Then he has to tell to the his officer that they should not come to his drawing room, etc. So even after, when he relinquished his office, we had a great association, and there's so many incidents which I keep on narrating. But it was a great experience. I learned a lot from him, and was a good journey. As I told in the beginning, I was fortunate, and I had the opportunity to work in army, to work in DRDO, to work in NDMA entirely. In the NDMA, we got done training for the NDRF, we got done training the Parliament security, the this Delhi police, and all the SDRF in different part of the country. So I felt very satisfied that yes, whatever training I did, it was of some use, and it was a really very, very, very a good experience of mine. I'm happy to be with you today. I wish you all
Sachin,
the best
it's getting
for
dark.
effort.
Since it's getting dark, you may like to, if you, in case you wish to switch on the light of your room, क्योंकि अंधेरा सा
Okay,
हो रहा
okay.
है, अगर आप
Just
चाहते
I
हैं
will.
तो कोई बात नहीं. Then,
I will just light. Yeah.
sir, we're getting to learn so much from General Saab's journey, and it's such an interesting journey. Such an interesting journey. I mean, क्या तजुर्बे हैं, इतना कुछ सीख सकते हैं हम लोग. Yes, sir. Please, sir. Please, sir. Sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now I think you realize that this, because I want the daylight. This is good.
I know, sir.
So
Sir.
you know. That is all, means the life. I feel very good now. I want to give to the community whatever best I can do, and I do the see the patient on daily without any charging. Also, the charitable work I want to do. That's what the life is going on, and I'm really very happy and impressed by your kind of work you are doing, and we are together in debates also at the time. Your comments and your things are very appreciable. So that's all.
It's a
So,
huge honor always to be with you, sir, and to learn from you and to observe you. And when I hear seniors like you, I make notes after the show. कि okay जनरल साहब ने ये बोलता है, I make notes. I request the channel for the video. I see the video, I analyze it, and then I study it. ताकि मैं अपने next life में I can be better prepared. So I consider you
No,
my member
you
of
are a
this.
learned person. You have got a good means. You are all the time because you are a person who have dedicated yourself for the learning and for transmitting knowledge to others, and that's the really great thing. Means you study, you have got the knowledge, and you talk on the facts with knowledge. So that makes a difference, and that's what I said that I'm impressed by your discussions and your comments. That's really good.
How sweet, sir. That's very kind
Thank
of
you.
you to say, sir.
Thank
Sir,
you.
it's been such a pleasure talking to you, sir. And I know अंधेरा भी हो गया, and I would like to I won't take much of your time. So जाते जाते कोई आखिरी संदेश आपकी तरफ से हमारे देश की युवा पीढ़ी के लिए, सर.
देखिए एक संदेश ये है of course they have the discipline very important as we learn the hard work and this whatever they can do for the community that is very important. They must work on ground. Of course a lot of people they are working with computer rather than spending time with the phone. They must have the interaction in person as what is happening today. That everybody is so engrossed that they don't have the time for family. They don't have time for themselves. They must take care of their health, must have the good sleep, good food, try to avoid junk food. So for the young people I can give that advice only because they have long, with the experience we learn that at the young age we can we can avoid any kind of discipline in the life. Discipline means what three things are very important: good food, proper exercise, and good sleep. Three things are very important for the healthy life, and avoid this telephone and computer as much as possible. Whatever is needed, that must only be done.
Sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir, for sharing your pearl of wisdom and your journey with us. And we learned so much. It was pure education listening to you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so
Jai
much.
Hind,
Thank
sir.
you. Jain.
Just